I have mentioned in other videos about how we tried to buy our peanut butter in bulk. So this bucket that you see is a 30-pound bucket of peanut butter that we bought. Now, it's almost empty. Now, whenever you buy peanut butter in bulk, it is common, once it's been sitting for a while, for the peanut butter to separate. So if you look here, you'll see the oil, the peanut oil, has separated from the big peanut mass there. And I want to share this video with you because I know of someone that actually bought a big 30-pound bucket of peanut butter that was separated like this, and they couldn't dig into it because when you try, it is just very hard, okay? So they actually threw the entire bucket away. They thought it was no good, and so they wasted all that money. So I'm going to show you what we do. And here's the ingredients. The ingredients is just peanuts. So in this bucket, there is no salt, oil, sugar, or anything else, just peanuts. What we do is we just use a spatula or some kind of way to scoop out the solid peanut butter like this, and we just put it in a mixer bowl, and I'm sure you can pretty much guess the rest. Now my husband is the one that always does this. So as I'm recording this, this will actually be my first time doing this, and we have bought probably 120 pounds of peanut butter in bulk over the recent years. But like I said, this will be my first time because he's the one that always does it, because he is the peanut butter fan in our family and he goes through it so quickly. So that's his job to turn it back into creamy peanut butter. But he's out in the woods right now, and we need peanut butter, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. He just puts it in a mixing bowl and just puts on a beater attachment, and he just sprinkles some salt in there. I think he said he does it to taste. And then he will take some of the oil from the peanut butter that's been separated here. He'll take some of this oil and put it in there and just beat it until it's the consistency that he likes. All right, you can see that I added some oil in. Let's go ahead and turn this on, and hopefully it doesn't fly out. Okay, it's starting to look a lot more like peanut butter again. I'm going to go ahead and lift the beater. So I'm just going to scrape this off. Then I'm going to scrape around the sides of the bowl and the bottom of the bowl and see if it needs any more oil added to it. And that would be the peanut oil. Once I mix this up, I'm going to have to keep beating it to make sure it's all smooth and creamy. You can see I scraped off the beater and I took this spatula around the sides and I'm lifting up from the bottom. You can see it is much more creamy, but if you look closely, you'll also see there are some lumps. So we're going to have to continue to beat this a bit more. So I just scraped some off of there, and this looks nice and smooth and creamy. And I don't see any more lumps. Okay, so I'll probably leave it like this. I might add in a little bit more oil. I'm not quite sure. Now, in regards to the oil, if you do not want to use the peanut oil that originally came out of this peanut butter, I'm sure that you could use another kind of oil. I don't see why you couldn't. Just be aware that the flavor may change depending on what kind of oil you use, and then also where you store your peanut butter. We just keep ours in a glass jar in the cabinet. So I'm sure if we were to use coconut oil, it would probably be okay because the cabinet we keep it in is next to the stove, so it kind of always stays, pretty melted anyway, our coconut oil. But if you were to keep your peanut butter in a colder place or even the fridge, then I definitely would not use solid coconut oil that had been melted and then blended in, because it would just solidify most likely into this solid mass. So also be aware of that. Now, we don't add anything in. Like, we don't do honey or sugar into this when we remix it like this. But you could, at this point, you could add some fine sugar if you wanted. You could add some honey or molasses or maple syrup if you wanted. It's totally, completely up to you. You could even add in some spices if you want. Like, if you wanted to add cinnamon in, go for it. I know I like to take sliced apples and dip them in peanut butter that has been mixed with some cinnamon or sprinkled with some cinnamon. I think that just, I find that tasty myself. So, I mean, if you wanted to add in some spices to your peanut butter, go for it. I decided to go ahead and add a little bit more oil to it. There, I think that's better. As you can see, this is a plastic container, and it is known that certain types of fats leach chemicals from plastic containers. Um, so it is possible, I don't know, but maybe peanut butter might be one of them. I've not looked into that. So if you do store your foods, especially fatty foods, in plastic containers, you always want to make sure that they are food safe plastic containers. This one is, but that still does not mean that it's still not leaching some chemicals from the plastic. So do your own research on that. I just wanted to comment on that in case anyone comments on the video about that. Yes, I am aware, so I'm just trying to let other people know. Thanks for watching.